obviously a Cassy and Lizzy video. I don't know if it will be. I think it's going to be more of a Lizzy video. Follow both channels. So I got the weird urge to get bangs. I'm getting like the bangs.
And as you can tell, I'm uncomfortable with this idea.
We've already sectioned it off. She's helped me. Even though she's not happy about this decision, she's still helping me.
I'm just gonna be like, you know what? It's your hair.
Should I turn it? Or is it stupid? Should I do it this way?
Yeah.
Better? Okay. What if I start here?
Yeah.
Would you feel better if I started here?
Yeah.
Okay, not only did I think of let's cut bangs, I thought it would be cool. This is why it's going to be more of a a Lizzy video than a Cassy and Lizzy video. But I thought I thought I would also, that is botched. Botched completely.
You're not using hair cutting scissors. What do you want from yourself?
Yeah, I know. Okay, I have cutting scissors for the record, but these are just so dull, it doesn't even, look, I'll like try.
I don't even think they are hair cutting scissors. Or are they? No, they are.
They are. They're not good cutting scissors. They're really dull. I tried to use a fucking... This is the knife sharpener to try it. Apparently, I googled it. You can use this to sharpen your scissors.
Yeah.
The thing is, you're going to be here for a good hour, and I don't have that patience. So they're cut. What was I going to say? I was talking about the worst hairdresser story.
You do one first, right?
Yes. Can you not do that? That's going to annoy me later in editing.
Sorry, future Lizzy.
Thank you for apologizing to future me. So,
I love that you're just like going for it and just yeah. Okay, so what do you?
I was gonna say that my horror story of a hairdresser story. I also wanted to do the basis of what was going on with my hair at the time. At that point, I had already tried to.
Hi, this is me editing this video. I really hate the audio. I absolutely despise it. I think it's the worst. This was filmed before I decided to use a mic for my videos, so I don't know. The audio in this just is really getting to me, and it's just like a personal thing. I don't know if it bothers you guys. So I'm going to actually do a voiceover in this video with the mic and redo the story time, because in all honesty, even like I was getting distracted and I wasn't really keeping pace either, so like I wasn't saying the story, if that makes sense. Like it took so long for me to get a point across because like I was cutting my hair, you know, and my sister was there and we start joking and we like, I don't know, I cut my bangs and I ended up pretending to be Jamie from A Walk to Remember, because that's like the vibe that I was getting. I was getting a vibe from A Walk to Remember. So yeah, I'm gonna do a voiceover is basically the point of this clip. Okay, so I'm just gonna speed up the talking and do a little voiceover. Hey, how you guys doing? So basically what I was saying in this video was I was talking about the state of my hair and what I had done to my hair and what it was at this point. At this point, I didn't put lightener in my hair. I didn't essentially... For all of you non-hairdressers, I didn't bleach my hair yet, so it wasn't damaged from that, but it was damaged from boxed hair dye. This is kind of the reason why I'm so against boxed hair dye, and I'm never going to use boxed hair dye again, because I had done it twice. I used the same boxed hair dye twice, and when it faded out, I was this strawberry blonde hair. I'm gonna insert a picture of what I looked like right here. That is what, and your hair is not supposed to look like that. Hair dye is not supposed to lighten your hair, but this boxed hair dye apparently did, because I know for a fact I didn't like pre-lighten my hair or anything, or at least I don't think I did. Like I'm 99, I wasn't filming hair videos at this point, so I don't know. The amount of times that I've dyed my hair, I don't have videos for. But anyway, there's that. So my hair was essentially dried. It had a lot of split ends. That's kind of why I wanted to talk about the state of my hair and what I have done to my hair. So I no longer use boxed hair dye because of this, because it just makes sense that it's horrible for your hair. Anyway, I had not gone previously to this hair salon. This was my first experience, and I didn't even make an appointment with them. It was my mom who made an appointment. I was around 16 at the time, so my mom was still making my appointments for me. Anyway, so So she had made the appointment. Immediately from walking in, I was uncomfortable. And it wasn't because this place was ugly or was bad or anything. It genuinely looked like a nice place. It looked, I guess the word to use, because I don't have the word, like luxury. It looked very luxurious. It was like, it had nice decor, and it looked expensive. It looked like a very expensive place and not a place that I was used to going. I was gonna try and be nice, but what I mean is it looked like a place where very stuck up people go and get their hair done. And it definitely looked like it was meant for an older type person. I don't know if like that makes sense, but like someone with money. And like if you're used to like very luxurious places, I feel like this is a place you would like. But it just made me so uncomfortable and made me feel like I just felt like I didn't belong here. So that was like the first thing, and it really had nothing, like this was on me type of thing. It wasn't the place, obviously, because it isn't a place that I would have wanted to go to, if that makes sense. It wasn't my scene. For those of you who don't know me, I am the type of person who does very drastic things to my hair, aka coloring my hair purple and dye. If that wasn't clear, the boxed hair dye that I used was a purple hair box dye. But I colored my hair, and when I get haircuts, I only used to ever get them like once a year. So I'm used to doing very drastic looks. I would get like long bobs. Like I remember getting a long bob, then just like a regular bob, and then I would get bangs. Like I would do things that, like drastic things, because it's like a once in a year. So by the end of the year, if I didn't cut it shorter than what I would initially want it to, like by the end of the year, it would be like way too long for me, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's like the type of person that I was, and this was not the place to do something drastic. The 2 people that were there, or the 4 people that were there, 2 were like younger, 20s, 30s, and there were older people like in their 60s. Not that that really matters, but I ended up getting an older gentleman, which is probably why I was very uncomfortable with this, because I don't know, like he probably is used to getting people who just want trims, and like, you know, he's probably used to a certain type of client that I am not, because I do out of the box type of things and I'm not opposed to them. I'm probably a lot more fun for someone who's a little bit younger and is willing to experiment, and not this guy. But anyway, I sat down and we had a consultation, I guess you could say. And it was mainly because there were other people in the thing that the other guys were doing, so there wasn't an open chair. There were only like 4 chairs. Not that that's like that big of an issue, but he essentially had to wait. But I mean, I guess this is like good customer service to figure out what the customer wants. The problem is that it was horrible customer service. So I was telling him that my hair was pretty long. It was decently long. It was definitely longer. So I wanted to go to shoulder length, which would have been 2-3 inches of my hair cut off, which I was fine with because it was like dead, essentially. And I didn't like it. It was very straw-like feeling. And I said that I wanted bangs, and I like bangs. I always have, like, every time I get my hair cut, I always cut bangs because I like the face framing pieces and stuff. And he pretty much immediately said, oh, no, we're gonna just take 1.5 inches off. That's it, at most. We're gonna do a little bit of layers, and we're gonna do some face framing pieces, but we're not gonna do bangs. And I was kind of like, I mean, I'm an antisocial person, and I'm not the type of person to stand up and be like, no, this is exactly what I want. So I just kind of like, okay. Like, that was exactly my response, was just like, okay. And he was like, this is what we're gonna do. And that was just like so uncomfortable, because I know that it was like, it's not his fault, but it's also like I said something and he should have just gone with what I said with. And I mean, I guess the way that I'm saying it now seems like very rude, but in a way he kind of said it it wasn't like bam, bam, bam. He kind of like warmed up to the eye, like, you know what I mean? Like he said, oh, I don't think that we should cut 3 inches off. I think we should do an inch, half an inch. That's really what he said. And he kind of just said little things there that he was just basically said that he didn't want to do what I wanted to do, which was fine, but was kind of upsetting because it was like, this is what I'm used to doing. Not really used to doing, but it's something that I wanted. And I don't know if, like, I know that I do a lot of outside the box things and I don't conform to society and what they do, because I know a lot of people don't like bangs, and I have so many friends who have always told me never get bangs, never cut your hair for bangs or with bangs or whatever. So I know that like bangs are not a standard thing that people do, but I always liked bangs, if that makes sense. How many times can I say bangs? I don't know. So yeah, it's just, that was just really, really off because he didn't want to do what I did, and he kind of changed the entire thing. And I kind of just let him because I was like, you know what, at this point I was like, I want to leave because everyone here just seems stuck up, really. I was just getting this feeling, I was just so uncomfortable that I was like, you know what, I just want to leave. Like, I want to go. Like, if it was up to me, I would have just got up and left. But my mom had already like been on the chair and she was my ride. So like she was already getting her hair done. So I couldn't leave. I didn't have that option. But I feel like now at like an older age, I definitely would have walked away and just been like, I'm gonna find somebody else. I'm gonna go across to the other person that I got my hair cut by last year, and she actually did what I wanted. So much better, by the way, and she's cheaper. So anyway, we sit down on the chair and he's again repeating what he's gonna do, and he's like, this is what we're gonna do. And it was presented in a way where it's like I didn't even have a say in it, and I was kind of like, and my mom like asked me, she turned around because she knew what I wanted, and she turned and she's like, is that what you want? Is that okay? And I was like, well, I want to go shorter. And I said it again, like, I want to go shorter and I want bangs. And he was like, oh, but I don't think that would look good on you. And I was like, I know it would look good on me because I have this beautiful blessed oval face, if you guys don't know. And an oval face can pretty much do anything they want. And according to Brand Mondo, I think shorter looks like he prefers shorter haircuts on oval faces. I think that's what he said. And I agree, but this guy was just so not down to cut my hair. And it was expensive. The haircut, like, for what he did, like, he didn't do, like, my hair did not change. Like, I walked in with the same, like, I walked out with the same haircut that I walked in, just like an inch shorter. I'm sorry, if I'm gonna like spend like $70-$80 on a haircut, it's going to be something that I one actually wanted, and something that is a change to what it was grown out to. Like, my hair, again, I did not cut my hair for a year, maybe longer. It was at the very least a year since the last time I cut my hair. So whatever haircut I had before was severely grown out. And yeah, I think you just like, because I always get the same response about getting bangs. People are like, oh, but your hair's really long and it's going to be, like, your front pieces are really long, and I know that you've had shorter, like, I can tell that you had shorter pieces at the front. So that's basically what he said, is like, I think you had framing pieces. That's how long it was. It just looked like it was framing pieces. And yeah, my hair, I had previous bangs and they weren't like flat bangs, the bangs that I'm doing right now. They were like side bangs, if you get what I mean. So it looked like it was just framing pieces. So I understood looking at my hair, it didn't look like I had bangs previously. So, and I was like, I want side bangs and I want it. So he only really cut up to my jaw, and he was like, that's like a good length for framing pieces. And I was like, not at all, because I would see framing pieces up to your nose, because that's how I would cut my hair. Like, if I were to just cut framing pieces, I always go to my nose, because I think that's just the length that looks good framing wise, if that makes sense. I don't think I'm making sense. But anyway, so he washes my hair, he then cuts it, and he's doing what he wants, and I'm like, I at this point, I have glasses. If anyone, I think you can see that I have glasses. I'm wearing glasses in this video. But I wear glasses, and I was wearing glasses at this point. So I had my glasses turned off, and he just kept asking me, like, he would put my hair to the front. He'd be like, is this a good length? Is this a good length? And I'm like, and I would look down, and I would be like, I can't see it. Like, I don't know, dude. I can't see it. Can you just cut a little more off? And he would be like, no, I think it's a good length. So it didn't matter what I said. I could literally say, yeah, no, actually, I want to go, like, chin length. And he just would not do it. He'd be like, it's short enough. And he cut the framing pieces, and then he went off and he was like, you know, your hair, it's really brassy and it's really dead and it's really dry. At this point, he had already cut my hair and he started to style it. So he was styling my hair and he was like, oh, your hair's really, really dry. It's super dry, super dry. And that's just like, he kept repeating it. And I was like, dude, I've colored my hair and I've used boxed hair dye. I made that mistake. Of course I know it's dry. You don't need to repeat it over and over again. He probably said it 6 or 7 times throughout the entire appointment. And I had said that I liked to curl my hair. Like, I like really curly hair sometimes. And I was like, I really love curly hair, or even like a beach wave type of thing. And he curled my hair, and he was curling my hair with like a heat tool, which I don't use. Well, I do use, but if I were to blow dry my hair, I wouldn't then put another heat tool on it. So I was like sitting there like almost in tears because this guy was literally just insulting my hair the entire time and telling me how dry it was. And I like, at one point I wanted to say, like, of course I know how dry it is. Of course I know about all the split ends. That's a reason why I wanted to cut off so much of it. Like, are you an idiot? So I was like just really frustrated. Anyway, so he was curling my hair, and then he started telling me, like, oh, for this hairstyle, for the way he was curling my hair was such a good length for it. Such a good length for curling this hair this very specific way. And I was like, this dude probably only knows how to, like, style hair this way, and that's why he didn't want to cut my hair that much. Because then he wouldn't be able to do these specific curls that he only knows how to. That's literally what I was thinking. So, yeah. I got nothing of what I wanted, and it was literally just like a room of hairstylists just continuously insulting me and how horrible my hair was. It's like, I know it's bad. Anyway, at that point we like left the appointment. My mom's like jaw dropped because she looked at it and she was like, oh, it looks so good. But my mom is like, I hate to say this, but she's kind of fake around people. Like, she won't say what she's thinking. So she was saying, oh yeah, it looks good. And then when she found out how much they were charging her, she was like, oh. And she's like, it's not that good. But she paid them anyway. And she's like, are you sure that, like, she was always asking them, she's like, are you sure? She's like, how come it's this much? Like, it doesn't look like their hair really changed that much, so why is it this much? And they explained it to her, and then she just ended up paying. We ended up leaving. I ended up getting in the car, and she ended up asking me if I liked it, and I immediately just started crying. And I was like, he did not do what I wanted. And he was like, and she even was like, I know you wanted bangs. Like, you always get bangs. How come he didn't do bangs this time? And I'm like, because he told me not to. Like, he said he didn't want to do it. And I was just like crying. And she's like, oh. And she's like, okay, well, we're never coming back here again. And that's just kind of how that ended. So yeah, to any hairdressers who are watching this, I think a lot of hairdressers, or at least the good ones, quote unquote, would probably agree with me that you side with your client always. And you do what they say. Even if you don't really think it'll look as good, you try and guide them into the right direction, but, you know, eventually you always do what they say. Because I do specifically remember saying that I wanted to go shorter when he was cutting it. And I was like, I think this is too long and I want to go shorter. And he was like when he was cutting the framing pieces, he's like, oh, how are the framing pieces good? And I would like touch the framing pieces and feel how long they were. And I was like, I think we need to go shorter. Like, I think we need to go shorter. And he's still like, he was like, no, I think they're good enough. So to all the hairdressers, learn from my story and actually do what the client is telling you to do, even if they're not being serious about it. Because guess what? I did not go back. I still have not gone back, and I refuse to go back. And I'm pretty sure that guy went out of business. I mean, he was retiring, but that place, I think, shut down. So, there you go. That's the story.